Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Saira Mushtaba and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Union Cabinet approves amendments to National Policy on Biofuels to make India energy independent by 2047. President Ramnath Kovind addresses joint meeting of Houses of Parliament in Jamaica, says India shares Jamaican vision of 2030. Evolving drone sector in India to create numerous employment opportunities for youth, says Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiradit Scindia. India Pavilion inaugurated by Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur at Cannes Film Festival extends open invitation to all to be part of IFFI Goa 2022. 75 student satellites to be launched this year as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Supreme Court appoints 3-member Committee of Administrators to manage affairs of the All India Football Federation. In sports, India's Nikhat Zareen storms into final of 52 kg category at IBA Women's World Boxing Championships in Istanbul. And in IPL, Lucknow Super Giants 195 for 0 in 11.3 overs against Kolkata Knight Riders in Navi Mumbai when reports last came in. The Union Cabinet has approved the amendments to the National Policy on Biofuels 2018. The amendments are intended to allow more feedstocks for production of biofuels, advance the ethanol blending target of 20% blending of ethanol in petrol, and promote the production of biofuels in the country. Since many more feedstocks are being allowed for production of biofuels, this will promote Atmanirbhar Bharat and give an impetus to Prime Minister Modi's vision of India becoming energy independent by 2047. Besides, the amendments are also to add new members to the National Biofuel Coordination Committee (NBCC) and grant permission for export of biofuels in specific cases. President Ramnath Kovind addressed the joint meeting of Houses of Parliament in Jamaica on the third and last day of his visit to Jamaica. Speaking on the occasion, President Kovind said there is immense scope for cooperation and mutual learning between the two nations in various sectors including business, railways, agriculture, hospitality and tourism. Mr. Kovind said India shares the Jamaican vision of 2030.
Jamaica's strategic position in the vicinity of some of the largest global economies. India shares Jamaica's Vision 2030 goals of empowering its people and ensuring a secure, cohesive and just society while becoming a prosperous and sustainable economy. India is ready to partner with Jamaica and share its technical skills, knowledge and expertise which could transform Jamaica's education and businesses. India and Jamaica are already cooperating under the International Solar Alliance for reducing the carbon footprint.
Our correspondent has more details.
The President summed up his address with a wish that the two democracies reach new heights of friendship, cooperation and prosperity. Engagements of the day closed with a state banquet hosted by Governor-General at King's House. The historic visit of the President Kovind to Jamaica has helped plant seeds, the fruits of which will nourish relations between the two nations. This is Arun Kumar Singh for AIR News from Kingston.
As the drone sector is evolving and blooming in India, the domain is expected to create numerous employment opportunities for the country's youth. Talking exclusively to All India Radio News, the Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiradit Scindia said huge employment opportunities lie in the drone sector and lakhs of employment opportunities are going to be generated in the manufacturing and servicing of drones. More than 1 lakh drone pilots will also be required in the coming years to operate different categories on unmanned aerial vehicles, he added, highlighting the government's ambition of making India a global drone hub by 2030. The minister said the government has adopted a multi-pronged approach to boost the sector. He said emphasis has been laid on adoption of market-friendly policies, incentivizing drone manufacturers under production-linked incentive scheme and the creation of demand.
Both on the manufacturing side, I see this as a huge opportunity. It's an industry which has only a 60 crore turnover today. We put in place a PLI scheme which guarantees it 120 crores in terms of pure incentives only. So double the turnover of today's industry. I see this growing from an investment point of view to close to about 5,000 crores in the next 2 to 3 years. Employment of almost 10,000 direct jobs in this area. So the second most important aspect is the services part of drones. And that services industry, I see that as almost close to a 5 lakh employment generator and close to about a 10 to 15,000 crore industry in the days to come.
Highlighting the importance of maintenance, repair, overhaul, MRO in the aviation sector, the minister said global companies like Boeing, Airbus, Pratt & Whitney and Safran are looking to set up their MRO facilities in India. He said several decisions have been taken to make the MRO policy more market-friendly.
Now is the time, through these large numbers of aircraft that are being established in India, that companies look at setting up their MRO facilities in India. We already have many domestic MROs that are set up in India, many companies that are doing close to that 15-20% part of the business. But I would like the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, to come into India. And therefore, even on my visit to the US, that's something that I have tried to push and urge companies to set up MROs in India.
Full interview can be heard in our Spotlight program tonight at 9:15 p.m. on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies. This program will also be available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official, and our website newsonair.nic.in. The centre has urged the states to direct power generation company GenCos to take immediate steps to import coal for blending in order to meet the requirement during monsoon season. Power Minister R.K. Singh has written a letter to states in this regard. In a separate letter to Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka and West Bengal, Mr. Singh has expressed concern that tender process for coal import has either not started or not completed in these states. Earlier, the Ministry of Power has advised state GenCos to import 10% of coal requirement for blending purposes. States were also advised to place order by the 31st of this month.
Minister of State for Electronics and IT, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, today released a Frequently Asked Questions or FAQs document in New Delhi. The document explains the nuances of the cyber security directions issued by CERT-IN under the IT Act for enabling better understanding of various stakeholders as well as to promote open, safe and trusted and accountable Internet in the country. The FAQs have been prepared in response to general queries received by CERT-IN on cybersecurity directions, which was issued on the 28th of last month.
Minister of State for Law and Justice, Professor S.P. Singh Baghel, today held a review meeting on several central schemes for infrastructure and also interacted with the Meghalaya State Legal Service in Shillong. The minister is on a 2-day visit to Meghalaya. Interacting with media persons after the meeting, the MOS stated that the purpose of his visit is to take into account proper implementation of centrally sponsored schemes, to visit sites to monitor the actual implementation. Gujarati Minister Bhupendra Patel inaugurated the Varnagar International Conference at Mahatma Mandar in Gandhinagar today on the occasion of the World Museum Day. The 3-day conference has been organized jointly by the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Culture of Government of Gujarat and the Union Ministry of Culture. Speaking on this occasion, the Chief Minister said the state government is fully prepared to promote the state's archaeological heritage and culture on the global stage. He appreciated support from UNESCO, Archaeological Survey of India and participation of the Government of India as well as the renowned universities of the country. Addressing the inaugural ceremony, Union Minister of State for the Culture, Meenakshi Lekhi, said this conference is being held with the aim to develop the historical heritage of the birthplace of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She said heritage sites in Varnagar are being developed to make it the best tourist destination in the world. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Union Cabinet approves amendments to national policy on biofuels to make India energy independent by 2047. President Ramnath Kovind addresses joint meeting of Houses of Parliament in Jamaica, says India shares Jamaican vision of 2030. Evolving drone sector in India to create numerous employment opportunities for youth, says Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. India Pavilion inaugurated by Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur at Cannes Film Festival. extends open invitation to all to be a part of IFFI Goa 2022. 75 student satellite to be launched this year as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Supreme Court appoints 3-member committee of administrators to manage affairs of the All India Football Federation. India's Nikhat Zareen storms into final of 52 kilograms category of IBA Women's World Boxing Championships in Istanbul. And in IPL cricket, Lucknow Super Giants were 109 for 0 in 13.4 overs against Kolkata Knight Riders in Navi Mumbai when reports last came in. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है एंथ्रोपोलॉजी और सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 18 मई। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Welcome back. You're listening to the evening news. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said the National Education Policy 2020 or NEP 2020 will revolutionize education in the country, making it more accessible and inclusive. Addressing the students of a school at Ooty in Tamil Nadu today, Mr. Naidu said the centre is making all efforts to make quality education accessible to all. He observed that NEP seeks to restructure the educational institutions and orient them towards the challenges of knowledge economy. The Vice President observed that India stands poised on the threshold of becoming one of the front-ranking nations in the world, and its rich demographic dividend should be leveraged to the country's advantage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Yuva Shivir being organized at Kareli Bagh in Vadodara tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. through video conferencing. Sri Swami Narayan Temple, Kundal Dham and Sri Swami Narayan Temple, Kareli Bagh, Vadodara are organizing the Shivir. The Shivir aims to involve more youth in social service and nation building. It also aims to make the youth partners in building a new India through initiatives like Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Swachh Bharat. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today inaugurated the India Pavilion at Cannes Film Festival. On the occasion, he also unveiled the poster of 53rd International Film Festival of India, IFFI. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Thakur announced an incentive scheme for audio-visual co-production and shooting of foreign films in India with a cash incentive of up to 30% with a cap of $260,000.
And look into the future so that the Indian film industry remains ahead of the curve. We have established a task force of the industrials to drive the growth of AVGC sector, a value chain which is empowering the cinema of the future. Similarly, we are excited the advent of multiple other technological developments that promise a more immersive cinematic experience for the audiences. I am delighted to announce that today in Cannes, an incentive scheme for audio-visual co-production and shooting of foreign films in India with a cash incentive of up to 30% with a cap of $260,000 and in the case of foreign films when shot in India, an additional bonus with a cap of $65,000 for employing 15% or more manpower in India.
Mr. Thakur said the Government of India will do whatever it can to make India the content hub of the world and to make India a destination of the world for filmmaking, film production, post-production and AVGC sector. He extended an open invitation to all to be part of IFFI Goa 2022. The minister said the Government of India has started the world's largest film restoration project under the National Film Heritage Mission. He said as part of this drive, 2,200 movies across languages will be restored to their former glory. Mr. Thakur said India and France have come together to celebrate excellence in cinema and creativity at the 75th Cannes Film Festival.
Today we are witnessing a jugalbandi between nations and ideas as India and France come together to celebrate excellence in cinema and creativity at the 75th Cannes Film Festival. At Master Du Film, this year India intends to give the global audience a flavor of the country's cinematic excellence, technological prowess, rich culture and illustrious heritage of storytelling.
The minister said this year is very special as India is celebrating 75 years of its independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. India and France are celebrating 75 years of diplomatic relations and it is also the 75th year of Cannes Film Festival. He said the year is also special as India is the country of honor at the Marché du Film. During the event, Mr. Thakur along with INB Secretary Apurva Chandra, Indian Envoy to France Javed Ashraf and CVFC Chairman Prasoon Joshi joined an interactive session. Actors Deepika Padukone, R. Madhavan, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Tamanna Bhatia, Pooja Hegde and Urvashi Rautela, film director Shekhar Kapoor, music maestro A.R. Rahman, singer Mame Khan also participated in the session.
Over 55 startups have registered with the Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO in 2 years since the Indian Space Department and the ISRO were open to the private sector. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh said this while chairing the 4th joint meeting of the all science ministries and departments. He said out of 55 proposals, 29 are satellite related, 10 for space applications and products, 8 are related to launch vehicle and 8 about ground systems and research. He said 9 proposals from the startups are expected to be completed in this fiscal. Secretary of Department of Space S. Somnath said 75 student satellites are scheduled to launch for this year to coincide with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, celebrating 75th year of country's independence. And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember patriot poet Mukund Das, who died on the 18th of May 1934. Through his writings, Das contributed to the spread of the Swadeshi movement in rural Bengal.
Mukund Das was born on the 22nd of February 1878 in Munshiganj district, now in Bangladesh. When he was 7, the family migrated to Borishal, where they settled permanently. Das grew up listening to Vaishnav bhajans from his father and began to compose and sing songs on his own. He was initiated into the nationalist movement by Bengali educationist and patriot Ashwini Kumar Datta. In 1900, Das took initiation in Vaishnavism from the monk Rasanand Thakur.
1905, Ashwini Kumar Datta gave an inspiring speech at the Borishal town hall against the proposed partition of Bengal. Datta wished that messages from the leaders could be carried to the villages through dramas and plays. Mukund Das was deeply moved by Ashwini Kumar Datta's speech. He resolved to fulfill the wish of the great patriot. Within 3 months, he composed his masterpiece, Matra Puja. The primary theme of his drama was patriotism and freedom movement.
Das raised a Swadeshi theatre group to stage plays across the villages of Bengal. In 1906, Mukund Das staged his plays at different places of Borishal and then travelled to Noakhali and Tripura.
Matra Puja successfully ran for 2 years and roused the patriotic feelings of the masses of Bengal. The play was further popularized by the press. Bande Mataram, Yugantar, Sandhya, Nobashakti, Prabasi and Modern Review played a part in popularizing the drama. The government of newly formed Eastern Bengal and Assam clamped down heavily on the play, citing incitement to violence. In 1908, he was stopped by the police when he tried to stage the play in Bagarhat. Mukund Das was arrested and imprisoned for 3 years on charges of sedition.
Mukund Das joined the non-cooperation movement. When the movement was called off, Mukund Das settled with his group in Kolkata. Matra Puja was banned by the government and he began to compose social plays in order to avoid being banned. In 1932, the government banned all his plays. After the ban, Das was restricted to singing only. He, along with his group, performed only musical shows.
His last on the 18th of May 1934. The immense collection of his writings continue to inspire Indians through decades. We salute the great nationalist.
We also remember Martyr Ghoormeen Khan, who participated in the First War of Indian Independence in 1857. He was caught by company troops in the course of their attacks. He was sentenced to transportation for life with labour in iron in 1857 and sent from Bombay to the Andaman Islands in April 1858. He was caught by the British at the time of his escape from their detention and hanged on the 18th of May 1858. We salute the great son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumer can use this app to register food-related complaints.
China will host the meeting of the BRICS Ministers of Foreign Affairs tomorrow through video conference. The meeting will be hosted by China's State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi and attended by India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, South Africa's Minister of International Relations and Cooperation Naledi Pandor, Brazil's Minister of Foreign Affairs Carlos Alberto Franco França, and Russia's Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov. The meeting will prepare the ground for the 14th BRICS Summit. Russia today expelled 24 Italian and 27 Spanish diplomats in tit-for-tat responses to the expulsion of Russian diplomats over the Ukraine conflict. In a statement, the Russian Foreign Ministry said 27 employees of the Spanish Embassy in Moscow and Spanish Consulate General in St. Petersburg have been declared persona non grata. The ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told Russian news agencies that 24 Italian diplomats have also been expelled.
In Gujarat, 12 workers were killed when a wall of salt factory collapsed at Halwar in Morbi district today. According to the sources, more than 30 workers were on work when the mishap occurred. 6 victims were from one family. Meanwhile, Gujarati Minister Bhupendra Patel announced compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the kins of each victim from the Chief Minister Relief Fund. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the tragedy in Morbi caused by a wall collapse was heart-rending. He said his thoughts are with the bereaved families in this hour of grief. The Prime Minister also announced ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to be given to the next of kin of those who have lost their lives. The injured will be given 50,000 rupees.
The Supreme Court today appointed a 3-member Committee of Administrators, COA, headed by former Apex Court Judge A.R. Dave, to manage the affairs of the All India Football Federation, AIFF, and adoption of its constitution in line with the National Sports Code and model guidelines. In Thailand Open Badminton Tournament, India's PV Sindhu reached the second round, beating United States' Lauren Lam 21-18, 19-21, 21-18 in the women's singles first round match in Bangkok. In the second round, Sindhu will face Sim Hyoo-jin of Korea.
In IBF Women's World Boxing Championships, India's Nikat Zareen has progressed to the 52 kilograms final in Istanbul, Turkey. Nikat beat Brazilian Caroline de Almeida by a unanimous decision in the semi-final today. In the summit clash, Nikat will face Thailand's Judamas Jitpong. However, other Indian pugilists, Parveen Manisha Mon, finished their campaign with bronze medals. Parveen was defeated by Irish Amy Sarah Broders in the 63-kilogram semi-final, while Manisha Mon lost to the Italian Irma Testa in 57-kilogram semi-final this evening. The finals will be played on Thursday and Friday. In IPL cricket, Lucknow Super Giants were 149-40 in 17 overs against Kolkata Knight Riders at D.Y. Patel Stadium in Navi Mumbai when reports last came in. Earlier, Lucknow Super Giants won the toss and opted to bat first. The Sensex and the Nifty today witnessed modest losses. Both indices fell amid mixed cues from the global share markets. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex fell 110 points to finish at 54,209, while the Nifty declined 19 points to settle at 16,240. At the forex market, the rupee weakened 2 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency was closed at 77 rupees and 58 paise against the American unit. Gold prices lost 230 rupees. The precious metal was trading at 49,950 rupees per 10 gram. Silver prices also declined 230 rupees to 60,925 rupees per kilogram, and the crude price rose around 2%. Gaurang Dhawanlal for AIR News.
Union Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla today inaugurated the annual conference of Relief Commissioners and Secretaries of Departments of Disaster Management of States and Union Territories in New Delhi. The two-day conference is being held to review the preparedness of states and union territories for dealing with any natural disaster that may occur during the upcoming southwest monsoon season. The conference is being held in physical mode after a gap of 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 45 and 31 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 28 and 33 degrees Celsius, while Chennai is likely to have a cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 28 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 29, while maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. Srinagar is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Temperature will hover between 13 and 25 degrees Celsius, while Jammu will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 13 and 25 degrees Celsius. Leh and Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad, Thiruvananthapuram and Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Gujarati will have a generally cloudy sky with intermittent rain. Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Itanagar, Agartala and Kohima are expected to have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union Cabinet approves amendments to National Policy on Biofuels to make India energy independent by 2047. President Ramnath Kovind addresses joint meeting of Houses of Parliament in Jamaica, says India shares Jamaican vision of 2030. Evolving drone sector in India to create numerous employment opportunities for youth, says Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. India Pavilion inaugurated by Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur at Cannes Film Festival. Extends open invitation to all to be part of IFFI Goa 2022. 75 students' satellites to be launched this year as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Supreme Court appoints 3-member Committee of Administrators to manage affairs of the All India Football Federation. In sports, India's Nikhat Zareen storms into final of 52 kg category at IBA Women's World Boxing Championships in Istanbul. And in IPL cricket, Lucknow Super Giants were 156 for 0 in 17.2 overs against Kolkata Knight Riders in Navi Mumbai when reports last came in. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.